Hey everybody, how you doing today? I'm going to talk about how the socialists in the Democratic Party uh, created Ferguson and what I think might be a really easy solution. Not a solution, but something that if common sense prevailed, would be a solution. So let's take a look at what happened at Ferguson. The socialists in the Democratic Party created a lot of what happened in Ferguson in a couple different ways. First of all, as everybody knows, the news media. Hands up, don't shoot. Never occurred. Didn't happen. How many of those NBA players that walked out doing this felt like complete idiots after it was found out it never occurred? Okay? News media, entertainment media, however you want to say it, put their 2 cents in. And most of those people are socialists in those particular venues. So here you have the news media hyping up Ferguson, um, making it look like, once again, there's racism going on in America. And truthfully, I'm going to tell you right now, the only place I see racism in America is in the news media. And half the time they create it. In this case, hands up, don't shoot. I wonder who thought that up. But there's something else going on too when it comes to the socialists in this country. And in this case, it was more on a physical plane. They were flying in people from around the country to protest. I guess you could say we had professional protesters in there. And instead of it just being a community event, it became a national event, and it became a socialist event with those two machinations that they tried to, what's the word? Propagate. They were trying to make it look like it was a huge racist thing. A white cop killing a guy who's holding his hands up saying, "Don't shoot, don't shoot." And then sending in protesters to agitate the regular people in that community. And the only people that got hurt by this was the people in that community. It's once again one of those things where the socialists come in, create havoc, and then they leave looking for the next thing to do. And after that, it was Baltimore. So that's a different story altogether. I think that a simple little thing that the police can use around this country, and it may be in their doctrine, it may be something really hard for them to do when they're out in the actual field, but when I was a Marine in the military, we had a thing called fields of fire, and that was your area that you could see that you would fire upon if you ever got engaged in battle. Well, I think maybe when it comes to police and all that, something that you might think about is what I would call levels of force. Okay? Now, as I see it, there are two categories for level of force. There's immediate danger, and then there's heightened danger. Immediate danger is you've got something in a perpetrator's possession, such as a gun. I guess if you want to go archaic, you could say a bow and arrow would apply, you know. Or if you know the guy's a knife thrower, that might apply. But basically, it's something that can shoot a projectile over a distance and take you out. That to me is the immediate level that you have. The intermediate level, or I won't say negligible, but the heightened level, I guess is the way I would say it, would be like if he has a gun, maybe a brick in his hand, a baseball bat, whatever, something that he has to come and attack you in order to take you down. Unlike a gun, which he doesn't have to come at you. He can just take you down. So when you look at that first level, naturally the response by the police should be, of course, pull your gun out and take him down. Don't hesitate. You know, your life is on the line as well as anybody that might be around there. So you don't hesitate. You take him down. He brought it upon himself. He showed he didn't have any respect for human life, his or his own, or yours, or anybody else's around there. So you take him down. I think that's pretty automatic. But the second one, and there are some examples that I could give of where it would be heightened. That would include an unarmed man like the guy in Ferguson, who was coming at you to attack you. But if he had a knife or a bat, whatever, in my opinion, what you should do, you could still shoot the guy. But in my opinion, what you need to do is you need to aim low. You know, Ferguson could have been completely avoided, and I doubt anybody would have said anything to in any way, shape, or form. Had the policeman, when he pulled his gun out and shot the guy, would have shot him in his leg, his hip, or his nuts, whatever the case may be, and taken him down that way. Had they done that, had they utilized that as their methodology, gun, knife, bat, you shoot below the waist. Gun or projectile, you shoot above the waist. You go to take him out. But had they done that, Ferguson wouldn't have existed. It would have just been a white guy, white cop. And truthfully, I don't care whether the cop's black, white, whatever. Use this as a determination on how you're going to approach the perp. I remember in the media one time they said a guy refused to put his knife down and they shot and killed him. Well, that to me was an excessive use of force. That was not a true level of force being utilized by the police. What they should have done was shot him in his leg. And if it takes 2, 3, 4 rounds in his leg before he finally goes down, so be it. Put as many as it takes. I don't care if you shoot him so many times it cuts his leg off. Eventually he's going to stop. And he's not going to be a hazard to anybody, you or the community. Plus he'll go to jail. And he pays the consequences. And like I say, those consequences are consequences he brought upon himself. So to the policeman out there, if you just use, you know, a simple rule of engagement, like a level of force or something like that, in my opinion, most of these instances would be gone. Another improper use of a policeman shooting someone was in South Carolina. You know, that guy was just plain murder. There ain't no way to get around that. That guy's going to spend the rest of his life in jail, and he should, because he didn't follow those engagements. Matter of fact, running away unarmed, he should never have fired at him unless he knew he was like a wanted murderer or something like that, or some kind of wanted felon. Once again, empty-handed, shoot him in his leg. That's all he had to do. Of course, in this case, I would have aimed for his ass. Seemed to be a much bigger target, you might say. So, I just think common sense should prevail when you do these sorts of things, and you should probably think about, you know, rules of engagement and coming up with a system within your police department on what you think is the best way, best methodology to address an immediate danger or a heightened danger. And if you do that, we can take the socialist media out of the witch hunt that's currently going on in this country, and we can tell them to go look someplace else. Take your socialist attitudes and go find something else to bring up. But we can end this just by simply, you know, identifying rules of engagement and ending the really ending the needless killing of people who may be going against the law, but probably shouldn't wind up dead. Thank you now.